What seems to be a tiny leaf, drawn to the globe by a wave, in fact has such a space on my Bashkortov town that awe strikes me, O humble son, sanatorium. 200 kilometers to the north from the capital of Bashkortostan, the city of Ufa, there is the Yangan-Tau mountain, widely famous due to wonderful nature phenomena that take place there. Among deep canyons and primeval taiga, there starts the river of Yuri. Its waters strike through the mountains of the ancient Urals as though trying to get free from their huge embrace. Nature lavished this land with immeasurable gifts which consist in hot mineral springs, steams and gases unique for their chemical and medical qualities. They say that a few centuries ago, a Thai traveler found a pit under a tree on the slope of the Berkut mountain on an autumn day, and heat was evaporating from that pit. The traveler slept in the pit, and in the night when he awoke, he felt that pains in the joints of hands and legs disappeared. Those pains have been troubling him for a long time, especially in bad weather. Since that, the Bashkir began to call the mountain Yangan-Tau, which means a hot mountain. The famous traveler and scientist, academician Pallas, who visited this place during the second half of the 18th century, was the first to inform the world of this wonderful phenomenon. From open crevices, he wrote in his book traveling through different provinces of the Russian state. A thing trembling in the sun, steam evaporates, and one cannot touch it by the hand. A birch bark or dry chips thrown there took fire in a minute. In bad weather or on dark nights, the steam looks like a thin tongue of fire a few arches high. Yangan-Tau has no analogues in the world as far as its natural and curing factors are concerned. Diagnostical inspections are carried out at the start and at the end of the treatment. The scientists of the Bashkirian State University advised practitioners and assisted in treatments from the starting point of the Health Resort Foundation. Head of Therapy Chair, Doctor of Medicine Professor Shamil Zagidullin is the scientific advisor of the Health Resort. The present consultation is according to the schedule. Maria Nikolaevna Markarova, a veteran of labor, came to Yangan-Tau from Moscow. And even the first results of the treatment are very perspective. Natural hot evaporations coming from Earth crevices and drilled wells, the temperature of them being up to 400 degrees centigrade at the depth of 80 or 90 meters, have carbon dioxide, nitrogen, heavy water, organic materials, active microelements. Accounts of the organic substances stored show the capacity to provide thermo-oxidizing for the period from 850 up to 1,700 years. Scientific explorations of the founder and the first scientific advisor of the resort, Mr. Ginatullah Nikmatulovich Teregulov, Professor Raul Gilmudinovich Farfudinov, the organizing and scientific activity of Mr. Rashid Shagabudinovich Akbashev, who directed the resort for more than 30 years, as well as of many other scientists and practitioners, made a great contribution into the science and practice of resortology. This enabled to make clear different aspects of the mechanism of curing factors in the cases where this resort treatment is necessary. The results of explorations, including those three that were presented at the World Congress of Resortologists in Germany, as well as clinical observations of long-standing, provided defining a wide range of diseases which are successfully cured at this resort. Patients with diseases of locomotor apparatus, peripheral nervous system, uniferous and blood vessels, kidney, chronic prostatitis, and metabolism are successfully cured here. Positive results are achieved while treating attendant diseases of the alimentary tract and female genitals. The curing effects of the health resort factors show themselves also against allergical and ecologically dependent diseases, as well as against chronic unspecified lung diseases and immunodeficit states. The variety of curing factors of the health resort, the possibility of their differentiated and individual usage enable to treat some diseases of heart and blood vessels as well. The resort is well equipped. A treating swimming pool with mineral water, cascade shower and sauna, a hall for therapeutic physical training, hydropathic establishment with a complete set of healing showers, clinical, biochemical and bacteriological laboratories, rooms for functional diagnostics, physiotherapy and laser therapy, massage, electric sleep and psychotherapy, manual therapy, underwater extension and underwater massage shower, neuroreflexotherapy, intestinal washing, gynecological spraying. All that enables to make a precise diagnosis, to define the specific of the disease, and to carry out a complex and effective treatment. On the left bank of the Yuri River, in the distance of 3 kilometers from Yangan-Tau, near the village where the national hero of the Bashkir people, the poet and warrior Salavat Yuri, was born, from under heavy limestones, there is the spring Kurgaza, which makes a streamlet, the water which doesn't freeze even on bitterest frosts, and it has curing qualities. The water of Kurgazak, as far as basic ions, the degree of mineralization and medical qualities are concerned, is an analog to the spring Naftuzia of the health resort Truskovets. The treating and drinking regime, the clinical food are the necessary factors of the therapy. A well-balanced and qualified food is the base of the treatment effectivity. The wooden building of the dry air clinical building, built by the joint stock company, the Yuri mechanical plant, is nowadays a good decoration and a monument of wooden architecture. The history of the Yuri mechanical plant is connected with the history of this wonderful land. Founded more than 2 centuries ago on the riverbank Yuri, the plant turned into a metalworking one after the October Revolution. There they made nails and horseshoes, and in the years of World War II it was rewarded for the production of ammunition. After the war, the plant produced quality roll chains, and in 15 years it started to produce refrigerators. The plant was one of the first in the country to undergo conversion at full scale, and began to produce 2 3-chamber refrigerators and freezers, as well as different chains for machine building industries, agriculture and food industry. In 1994, they made a state testing center for certifying refrigerators. Every year, more than 100 workers of this plant restore the health of Yangan-Tau. The resort was founded in the year of 1937. For the first 25 years, around 40,000 people rested there, compared to the 60,000 people that restore their health only for the last 5 years. The big popularity of the resort and the high effectivity of the treatment result from all the curing factors, which besides the gasothermal dry air baths and the water kurgazak include the factors of climate. On the space of the Republic of Bashkortostan, which covers 2 parts of the world, Europe and Asia, one may put Portugal and Dane together, or 4 or 5 states like Belgium. As to natural conditions, Bashkortostan combines features of both the continents. The flora and fauna of the land are extraordinarily versatile. Forest occupies more than 1/3 of its territory, and forest is an additional factor of sanitary conditions improvement. Forest is a great filter purifying air from dust and microbes. Forest is a wonderful gift of nature which softens the brightness of sunlight and makes a good psychological effect on a human being. As part of Salavat forestry, the Republican forest Yangan-Tau, which covers more than 3,600 hectares, was registered. The State Act made it possible to plant trees and shrubs on the slopes of the mountain Yangan-Tau, which go down to the river Yuri, to provide amenities for the spring Kurgazak and to improve the green belt around the health resort. The importance of Bashkir forest is added by the fact that it concentrates greatest lime tree woods in the country, and lime is queen of honey-bearing green. Aksaka Road. Admirable green lavishes your thick black soil, magnificent meadows and fields. Fresh, deeply green and powerful are your varied black forests, and swarms of wild bees inhabit your non-handmade hives, filling them with the fragrant lime honey. Advised by her doctors, Maria Nikolaevna Markarova came to the resort for the second time. She didn't only get rid of the pains in the joints, but received a spiritual and psychological balance and the ability to move freely. Treating children with kidney and uriniferous vessels diseases is the latest achievement of the resort. In sleeping blocks, there are mainly 1 or 2 bed wards with all the commodities. Low mountain pure air is another advantage of this unique health resort. The ionization of the atmosphere air no less than that of the best resorts of the Caucasus and Crimea. The local nature is incomparably beautiful in any season. To visit the popular Bashkir festival Sabantui means to receive a brightest impression. The exposition of the Salavat Yulia Museum is very original and educative. At the starting point of making constructions for the natural steam spring, there were great efforts of the Trust Vostok-Nefteprovodsk-Troy, founded half a century ago for setting up main pipelines. A capsule with the names of the participants in the construction, namely Regional Soviet of Trade Unions, Resorts Administration, and the Trust Vostok-Nefteprovodsk-Troy, was put into the foundation of the resort block. From that moment, there began a new history of the resort in the year of 1964. The joint stock company Vostok-Nefteprovodsk-Troy has built up and put into usage the main block with a canteen, a water pipeline from the Sprinkle Razak up to the sanatorium, 3 sleeping blocks for 320 beds altogether, a 60-flat apartment house, a canteen for 500 seats, different objects of sanitation, water and thermal provision. Thanks to the construction of the gas pipeline Yangan-Tau, more than 20 kilometers long, the boiler room of the resort began to work in gas. This sleeping block for 200 beds with a special staircase, built according to some unique project by the Construction and Ensemble Train number 826 of the State Project and Construction Union Bashtrans-Troy, is nowadays not only a business card of the resort Yangan-Tau, but also a beautiful place for the builders themselves to rest and restore their health. A great attention to developing the health resort Yangan-Tau is paid by the administration of the Republic of Bashkortostan. The construction of a modern steam treating and medical building is under active way, alongside with the treating and diagnostical center, outdoor winter swimming pool and a hotel for foreign patients. In future, there will be built a cultural center connected with all the blocks by warm corridors. The effectivity of the resort treatment depends not only on the medical service, improving the resort material base, setting up new equipment, building apartments for the resort personnel. This is in short a record of problems which are to be solved by the main doctor of the resort, candidate of medicine, Ishtimer Huramshin. The curing waters of the Yangan-Tau are more available thanks to the mini factory for producing plastic bottles and pouring the spring water Kurgazak into them. Setting up the mini plant is explained by the oil company Lukoil, which is one of the founders of the joint stock company Polypress Kurgazak, by the necessity to solve ecological problems in Bashkortostan as well as in the northern regions like Tumen. President of the Republic of Bashkortostan, Mr. Murtaza Rahimov, highly appreciated and supported the project. In his report at the opening of the plant, Mr. President said, "The plant is much needed by the citizens of Bashkortostan troubled by ecological problems." The mini plant, which has been built by the Italian firm Zefit, helps to solve many ecological problems. The Supreme Ecological Soviet of Russia and the Ministry for Ecology of the Russian Federation supported the building of this ecologically safe plant. Using the mildly mineralized water Kurgazak of general usage in everyday life is part of the treatment effectivity, and this fact grants the fruitfulness of the cooperation between the resort Yangan-Tau and the joint stock company Polypress Kurgazak. The staircase going down to the Yuri River has 1,000 steps. Patients may use dental surgery, dental mechanics and hairdressers shops, a post office, a telegraph, a bank, a restaurant and a cozy bar. Preparing for leading the international tournament of vocalists, named after Glinka, the laureate of the Lenin Prize, the People's Artist of the Soviet Union and of Bashkortostan, academician Mrs. Irina Konstantinovna Arkhipova, combined the work of chairman of the jury with resting and being treated at this unique health resort. The unique treating factors of the resort make patients convalesce physically and spiritually. The land is beautiful here, and is just coming from the primeval state. Its richness, healthiness, simplicity, and purity of the inhabitant natives is extraordinary. Everything is good and great here. Leo Tolstoy. The film staff Ishtimer Huramshin, Renat Nurullin, Yuri Belsky, Alfat Valeev, Pamira Abdulbaneva, Venera Habirova, Fania Nurullina, consulted by Dr. of Medicine Professor Shamil Zagidullin and asked by Leo Ahmedchet.